join us in this little series where we turn these fine specimens, Jaguar S-types, into drift cars. Hi everyone, you're watching Let's Build a Drift Car, episode 3. We take not one, but two old Jaguar S-types and turn them into full-blown drift cars. We have one known as the Drift type, and the other is 300 pounds, send it, bend it, and mend it practice mobile. If you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2, by all means you can go back and watch those. Alternatively, stay tuned to watch the mayhem unfold. I hope you enjoy our little series. My name's Dud, and you're watching Wraptor Customs. Very not very good. Not good things and stuff. So we tried to bleed it up with a new radiator, thermostat removed, and it won't bleed, it's just bubbling over. And this pipe's getting hot rapidly, this pipe is cold, so there's no flow. So it's either got an airlock right, so time to install the hydraulic handbrake. And the beauty of this car is we want to tap into the sort of middle section of brake pipe to go inside the cabin and back out again. It's got some joiners right there and some joiners right here for the middle section. So that's great. I can undo them and tap straight back into them basically, as long as we've got enough pipe. So I'm going to measure this up now, see how much we need, and hopefully I've got enough universal pipe. Right, so straight away, issues on a Sunday. We definitely can't get parts today. So this brings back memories of last time I did this actually. The master cylinder for the hydro, the inlet and outlet, whichever way around it is, they're different sizes. I don't know why. But not only that, it seems that one of the threads is imperial thread and one of the threads is metric thread on the same part. Why? The last hydro I bought, it seemed to be like that as well. But we've got one out of the kit to fit this end, nothing to fit this end. So I bought the pipe, lots of different connectors and stuff, and I still haven't got one to fit that. So what I'm hoping, got a plan, it might work, might not, I've got to measure it up, is salvage one of these, as you replace one of these for one out of the universal kit. I'm hoping that the male end of that will screw into this, but we will see. Right, let's see if this fits on here. I'm hoping this is the same thread size. Good old thread Flintstone. No, too small. Okay, plan B I guess. We just need to know what plan B is. Alright, I think I've made a fix. So, we now have an onion, a union they're called, in there, male end, and tried to run a tap cutting tool down there, but we didn't have the tap of the correct slightly weird size. So I made one. I sacrificed one union out of the kit, so hopefully I've still got enough. You see, I put a little slit in this, and it works as a cutting tool, and any swarf gathered from cutting the new thread gathers in this. Occasionally you need to remove it and clean the swarf out, put a little bit of oil on the threads, but now that threaded hole is the right size for these that came in our kit. So, and it seems to do it tight, which is great. So I think now we should be able to install this. Got in there. So that's riveted with some heavy duty rivets to the gearbox tunnel. In places it's gone through 2 skins of metal as well, which I'm quite happy with. So that's going to be nice and strong, because that's going to take a bit of brunt over time, all this pulling on the part brake quite hard, or hydraulic handbrake. Also, the edge of it kind of hang off the side of the tunnel, so I've put a little reinforcing 90-degree bracket there as well to give us something else to attach to, hidden behind the carpet, which is quite neat. So now I should have positioned this in a way where the hydraulic pipes are going to come straight through this hole here where there's a rubber bung, straight to here. We'll need some T-pieces and stuff here going on as well. And hopefully I've managed to cut the center console frame around somewhat so we can still have a center console. It would be far easier to leave it off, but this car, the red one that I'm in at the moment, I just kind of want it looking nice, really. Nice as we can. So yeah, that'll go there and house the center console. Might have to cut some of the trims around, but we'll see. And then we've modified all this here so you can basically still pull the lever, but that's a nice position. Hand on the steering wheel, right there, bang, bam. Nice and quick reaction. Gear knob, handbrake, steering wheel, right next to each other, but still enough room for you to pass your hand through, you see. Jaguar S-Type with a hydraulic handbrake. Yes, please. So we're trying to bleed the brakes on the red drift type, and it's getting there, but I just can't quite get it to how I want it. Not like a really good solid pedal and a really good solid handbrake lever. It just kind of feels a bit spongy, and it pushes too far down, and the handbrake lever pulls all the way back. I'm like, it doesn't matter how much we bleed it. We tried pressure bleeding it using this machine here, which is much easier than manual way of bleeding things if you're struggling to get the last bits of air out of a hydraulic system. And it's improved it again, but it's still not quite right. So I thought I'd just check I've got the pipes to the handbrake all plumbed up correctly. And I've looked and I think, yes, I have. However, there was no illustration that come with this handbrake. You know, it was only a cheap one, to be fair. But I've looked up illustrations of other handbrake master cylinders that look pretty much identical online, and check this out. Okay, so in my mind, fluid goes in here, the plunger pushes that way, which closes that inlet off and pushes the fluid out that way. But somehow all the illustrations online say the in and out is the other way round. So I'm not quite fully understanding the internals of this. Same with that one there. Next one down says the same thing. So I've got the pipes the wrong way round probably, haven't I? So I've got to now turn them around. Hope the lines reach, because obviously they're all custom made. And bleed it all again, and then hope it works. I want to go drifting now. No, I want to go drifting. Hurry up. Check it out. We have brake pedal, and a hydraulic handbrake. Yay! Wraptor baby! So it turns out these two pipes were the wrong way around, so that's what it looks like. It's quite compact under there, not the prettiest, but it's functional. I've got the center console to go back over this, so it's quite compact, and of course I've had to swap these pipes around, which is why they cross over now. So we've got a rubber bung through the floor there to protect the pipes from rubbing on the metal of the car or gearbox tunnel. And yeah, turns out that's the in, and that is the out to the rear brakes. Right, time to reinstall all this lot back in there to make it look a little bit more presentable, I guess. Hydraulic handbrake, and I think maybe over time that space there might fill with a little panel, and that can have auxiliary switches in there if we need it as we progress with a project and find we may want things like that, right? But yeah, looking good. Project Let's Build a Drift Car or two will continue. We plan to make the drift type lower, wider, maybe a crazy wrap, and well, maybe even a turbo or two, but we'll see. Alright, myself and Pryor are trying to come up with something to give this car extra steering lock. Now, some cars have a little thing hidden behind the steering boot, so we've removed this from the steering rack here, and often there's like a little plastic washer or buffer that sort of donates the amount of steering lock you can have, and sometimes you can sneakily remove that and get a cheeky little bit of extra steering lock. However, on this car there's no plastic damper in there, there's no plastic damper in the other side either, it's just metal. So there's nothing in there that we can modify on the steering rack really. So the next option is, well, trying to modify the hub. So this is the steering track rod end, and then this is where it locates in there basically and bolts in like that. Now if we can change the geometry of this, the point where the track rod end goes in and pivots, we can give the car more steering lock, faster reaction steering, and reduce something that's called Ackerman angle as well, which I'll try and explain later on. However, we can modify this, but we need it to be strong. This is aluminium, so we could cut it and aluminium TIG weld it. However, the likelihood is this is cast aluminium full of sort of impurities, and if you try and weld this, it's just not going to be as strong. And being that it's a steering component, safety definitely comes into it, so we don't really want to lose any strength whatsoever. So what we're looking at doing is trying to make our own additional bracketry that is strong, that can mount on some maybe existing fixing points to allow us to move the point that this bolts in to give us the extra things that we want. Right, we think we got a plan. Right, this is our expert technical drawing. Better than CAD this is. Way superior. Anyway, so what we're scared of is basically this thing cracking, but if it does ever crack, it's going to crack at those points there, the thinnest points, okay? And what I didn't want that to happen is, if we lose this metal, then okay, we've still got our extra strength bracket here that's going to be tied to the existing hub, right? But there's going to be so much movement up and down and flopping around, it's still going to be dangerous. However, we decided these pieces of metal, they're not going to ever disappear, and most are going to crack, because the bracket that we're going to make is going to lock this side together and this side together and be bolted to the hub. So worst case, if it cracks, you might end up with a little bit of slop and a little bit of knocking or some telltale signs on the feel of the steering. That's to say, worst case scenario, but we don't ever think it's going to, you know, fall apart and create any sort of crazy lack of steering. So yeah, now we're going to fabricate in-house some really beefy braces to allow us to modify the existing steering setup, then hopefully we'll have extra steering lock, less Ackerman angle, and faster responding steering. Alright, definitely brainstorming some ideas now. A cup of tea and a yum yum, and in Prior's case a cigarette seems to have helped. So yeah, we're going to modify the end of this track rod end slightly. We're going to linish some material down here, make our own strengthening brackets, and hopefully we'll be ready to rock. This is how it looks like from standard.
Very crusty.
Yeah, surprisingly, like how rusty it looks, everything come undone really easily. So that's cool. I'm gonna call you Notchy. Let's go in. Oh, that's one. Maybe not. All right. Yay!
And she's off.
Hey, and the boot still held on. Okay. That little tapered washer thingy just, I don't know, literally helps it locate in there for some reason. It sort of swivels around in it as well.
And drop it on the floor.
Goodbye. Right, we're getting there. We're going to the moon. No, joking. We have figured out some measurements, and our new hole is going to be there. Okay, as I was saying earlier, the metal's thinner here, so it's not going to be as strong. So we're going to brace all of this up to compensate. By moving the pivot point from there to there of the track rod end, it's going to give us noticeable more steering lock. I could go more extreme, but I don't want to ruin the car either. So basically, it's going to go from kind of having, say, that much steering lock to that much steering lock. But it all helps, it'll all come together. Had a little brainwave as well, so we're going to modify the steering on this one, but not the blue one. So later, we'll be able to see how much steering we've got on the red one in comparison to the blue one. We'll put them side by side and see what we've got. Right, so we've modified that side but not strengthened it yet, not modified this side. So there's full lock on the driver's side, here's full lock on the passenger side. That's some decent steering lock right there. Cool, that looks a bit further than 45 degrees roughly, I would say, judging by eye. Now we can go a bit more yet because it's contacting here, so we could shave some of these threads down, and then it's not far off there, but I don't think it's quite going to hit, so we can probably get a few more degrees by shimmying that bolt down. But yeah, looking promising, looking cool. Right, steering geometry modified. Turn it full lock that way, Lammy. So that's a serious amount of lock. More lock than Jenny from the block can handle.
I like that theory.
That is a lot. Okay. And yeah, we're not quite rubbing here, which is good. Now, yeah, that's good. Now turn it the other way. I think we're going to encounter a problem. Oh. Are we rubbing or not?
Nope.
What if you push it hard full lock? Does it rub there?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it is.
You have to go, yeah.
So it's rubbing on the anti-roll bar here. Alright mate, straighten up. So it's rubbing on that there. But we got a plan. Wheel spacers. Wider and cooler.
Section.
Right, let's get some on. So these are the bad boys I'm about to install. These are the wheel spacers. Now, the ones we go for are proper German-made, TUV-approved, hub-centric, branded, strong wheel spacers. And we install these professionally. We clean the hub perfectly, torque these to manufacturer specifications with thread lock and paint mark them, and then we suggest we recheck the tightening torque after road test. I'd steer clear from cheap wheel spacers where basically the metal can be inferior, the studs can stretch and snap, and I've seen them come loose and stuff like this. So that's why we go for the branded ones. They're not the cheapest ones, but I believe they're the best ones to install. These are what we're going to pop on here now. This is just a used set I've got in stock, so happy days for me. Free of charge on this one. But if you want a brand new set of these, they are on our website, raptorcustoms.com/shop, or you can go straight to raptordesigns.com. We've got the A-team here, it's coming together. You may have noticed the blue one has gone off the ram. There it is, on its wheels. So we've decided we're running the 18-inch on the front because it's got new Michelin Pilot Sport 5s in there, nice and grippy. We're going to lose the locking wheel tools. We're going to put a normal wheel nut on there just for quick tyre changes, because we'll be getting through some tyres, albeit hopefully not on the front very quickly, but definitely the back. Thermostat is in, it now works, happy days. Welded differential, pumped tyres right up. Exhaust is not there for the moment. That'll do for this car. This is just a send it, bend it and mend it if we can. If not, it's going in the bin. Kind of car for practicing and a lot of smiles and fun. No hydraulic handbrake in this one, no manual gearbox either, so it's going to be a bit harder to drift, but I'm sure the beastie 300 horsepower of V8 will help us do so. Meanwhile, inside on the red one, the guys are starting to strip the interior whilst also carrying on with the custom steering geometry. In fact, I think this one's stripped out as well. So yeah, the car's getting stripped. It's not finished yet. We're going to make it lighter than this, but we've lost the parcel shelf. Things still need to come out. Yeah, look, just a bit of metal doing nothing. Some speakers, we don't want them. Those are for the seats, we don't want that. Door cards we'll probably get rid of. Probably get rid of the rear section of carpet. Just going to remove as much weight as possible, especially from the rear end. I think we can shed a good 100 kilos or so from this car just to make that back end fly around. So the boot interior is gone, or what they call it, trunk in America land. So is the spare wheel. We can lose more yet though. We can get rid of this. We've got an ECU here that goes in the rear quarter. That's very susceptible to damage, so we've got to remove that closer to the centre of the car because it needs it to run. Once you smack that rear quarter, these cars can cut out and that's the end of that. So we don't want that to happen prematurely. We've got a big CD changer in there. Anybody want that? I don't. And what's this? It's like a beefy amplifier. Is that standard? Interesting. God, the weight of that. That's like 2 kilos on its own. That's 4 or 5 kilos. Gotta be. Should we weigh it? Just shy of 5 kilos. Just that. 5 kilos. Wow. Let's add this to it. What we got? That's 1 kilo. 6 kilos right there. 6 kilos. We don't want that.
Hello, mate.
Having fun?
I have, yeah. I wonder if it's supply with them.
Good hot, is it?
Spacer.
You're making some hardcore drift geometry.
You got it, kid.
Extra sideways. Good man.
We're on it, mate. We are literally on
Oh, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Bodgkins,
Hello.
or aka Fudgekins.
Hello.
You found some stuff to make it lighter.
Quite a lot, mate. There's a lot outside.
Is this one not got the multi-CD changer that went here and stuff?
No, you're not posh enough for that.
Oh, poverty spec, is it? Right, I've just weighed the CD changer on its own. Guess how much that is?
40 kilograms?
40, the CD changer. You listening to what I'm saying? Fucking 40. The CD changer, man.
Yeah, but it's got all the metal brackets and everything. It's about that hot.
Yeah.
Don't know. What then?
5 kilos.
5?
5. And then with a little amplifier thing that goes with it, 6 kilos right
Took
there.
the phone holder off then? That was like the phone modules or something.
I don't know. There's still more in there to remove.
There is. There's a lot.
There's loads. We're going to shed loads of weight and fly the back end around and stuff. Did this one have speakers in it or not?
Nope.
No. Oh man. We got the poverty spec, but it's worth knowing if you've got the nicer spec one with the leather and V8 and the blind in the back and all that, you got a lot of extra weight in your car. Don't consider that, do you, when you select these optional extras? So, things and stuff we've removed so far and we've nowhere near finished. I mean, look at the size of that lot. Imagine how much it weighs. So, Pryor's gone ahead and started to remove the door cards, which I'm a little bit sad about, actually, out the red one, because the colour and everything, I don't know, it's just very Jaguar-ish, and I wanted to retain the Jaguar-ness. But I'm going to keep the dash and keep the centre console. Seats will be going and fitting lightweight, more racy, more secure bucket seats. Okay, they've got some more things and stuff to weigh. Will it go on there? You might have to hold it on. Let's have a look. What does the camera say? That's about 10 kilos there.
all the way, yeah.
Oh, and it's still on the floor as well?
Yeah.
I have to just hold it and stand on the scales. Yeah, see if there's any more. The scales are wonky. Okay, I think that's more like 12.5 kilos then. Woo! Okay, we have welded diff, hydraulic handbrake, exhaust back boxes removed, grippier tyres on the front, not so grippy ones on the back, pumped up, steering geometry altered, wheel spacers on the front. Now it's time to reinstall the battery, bleed the cooling system, and I'm going to refit the centre console just to kind of make it a little bit neater inside. Jim Bob, you're up, yeah, and how'd it go? I'm keen to see what it sounds like. Well, hear what it sounds like, but yeah. No back box on the V8. What does it sound like?
Come for a spin with you. Into the curb. Yeah.
Be careful. Give it a rev. Don't let your rev very high, but it sounds cool. The inside wheel just spins. It's got one brake light. It definitely sounds better. You need to give himself some more room then. He tried to lock it round in the middle of the junction. Oh crap! Nah. So give yourself some room. It sounds beefy. Proper deep. It's proper deep sounding, isn't it? Ooh. One hose. Yeah, the cooling fan isn't on constantly this time, so that's an improvement. Temp gauge all right?
Yeah.
What a shiny new rad. Treat it, eh?
Yeah, I know. As we come out next, I did a little behind you. Makes some noise down in the back.
Off to the water in the boot. Right, we've been playing with it to check it drifts before turning up at a track, and it's utterly pointless. So, we can only lock this car into second gear. It starts in first and tries to change in the second. When it does that change, it bogs down. Not only that, it just doesn't let us rev it right up. But sort of figured out a bit of a trick is let off before it changes gear. And then it sort of, yeah, carries on smoking them, basically. But that's quite difficult when you're trying to balance the throttle to drift if it then decides to change gear all by itself. So I'm going to play with some solenoids and stuff in the gearbox and maybe see if I can lock it in first gear, because flat out in second gear this car seems to be doing about 75 miles per hour, which might be a little bit fast for the type of drifting we're doing at the moment anyway, but hey ho, we'll see. So the lads have unplugged some stuff and now they realise the heating is stuck on flat out hot, you know, in summer. And now we're trying to plug stuff back in until it works again.
Just stick it in a hole. Just stick it in a hole. Not so hard.
Hang on, wait. Them three plugs are exactly the same, so imagine that one goes in there.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it'd be fine.
Oh, they all link together though, look. It's all just, it's just like a train track. It's can lines, isn't it? But they like can line or data lines, but infrared data lines.
Oh, you going to this one?
Yes, infrared. There's some fibre optics, that is.
Waste of a car.
He loves this car, high spec.
Yeah.
I can't remember, infrared and fibre optic, or is it just fibre optics? I can't remember.
It's just a shed, I was just told to pull it all out.
Yeah, Pryor dissing it all. Still Pryor dissing the S-types, eh? Thinks he's it's an old man's car.
When you spin out on the track.
Listen, mate, we bought the red one off an old man. I don't know who we bought the blue one off.
Smells like it as well.
Smells like an old man. Okay. Only you'd know what old men smell like, Bodgkins. Hey.
Recording on both. Go on then.
Now let's see, does the hydraulic handbrake work?
That's beautiful.
Success.
Sexual.
Right guys, there we have it. 2 S-types ready for drifting. A send it, bend it and maybe mend it car, practice car, and then something a little bit more proper. Hydro handbrake, extra steering lock, faster responding steering, welded diff, and in the future maybe a turbo, but we'll see. So now, stuff and things.
Things and stuff.
Thanks to the guys for helping us out. Done some long weekends and nights and stuff to prep these cars. Now it's time to book a drift day. Woo! Hope you enjoyed the vid. Remember to click subscribe on YouTube, follow our socials and all that stuff. It's completely free, we won't spam you, and you can stay up to date with all our car related content. Jaguar specialists, car modifications, reliability upgrades and more. Now if you enjoy this sort of content, wow, over the last few years we've customised many vehicles, especially Jaguars. We've got over 100 videos on our YouTube channel and counting, so do go and check those out and enjoy. Thanks for watching Wraptor Customs.